Good day, good people. In today's ramblings, I want to talk about something that I call childhood adaptations. What is that? Childhood adaptations is the way we as children figured out how to survive in the environment presented to us. We adapted in good, bad, and ugly ways. You could also call it childhood survival styles, or you could also call it adaptive survival styles. Whatever makes your boat float, go for that. And if you are older than 18, you survived your childhood. Congratulations. That is a sign of your intelligence. Because you probably grew up in a milieu where not everything was perfect. And not all developmental needs were met. We need to feel connected, welcomed in the world. We need to be attuned to. People need to see what is going on, what we need. They need to be attuned to our needs, our physical needs, our emotional needs. That's also to our mental needs. We need to trust, lean into our parents' relaxed nervous systems. We need to be close, feel held, and at one point also go and explore the world and know that we are filled with their love and always return. We need to know that we're lovable just the way we are. The problem is that often our parents, our environment, and also society, let's be honest, it's not always the parents' fault. It's also just society's fault, because society has other beliefs what kids should be able to do or not. So what happens in childhood is that a developmental need comes up, for example. Now it is very important that I learn to trust the other, that I learn to, for example, lean into them and understand that they understand me and that they want to know me, but it's not reciprocated. They say, "What's your problem? Why are you crying? I give you something to cry about." Or they say, "I can't play with you now for 10 days in a row, for 10 months in a row. So you're left alone to play. But you would love dad to play with you. You'd love mom to play with you." They override your decisions. They override your wish to explore the world. They are too anxious. They're too afraid. They're too vigilant that something could happen to you. And suddenly that developmental need is being overwritten. So you have to figure out how to meet the need yourself. How do you handle the pain that comes up when this need is not met? And what do you ultimately do inside of you to keep handling your situation? And then you do the most intelligent thing that you can do. If you are 3 months old, you do the most intelligent thing a 3 months old could do. If you're 3 years old, you do the most intelligent thing a 3-year-old could do. Different degrees of sophistication. Maybe the 3 months old who's crying themselves to sleep because nobody is coming learns to space out and numb themselves. Maybe the 3-year-old who wants autonomy learns to get angry or learns to people please to see when is mommy ready to give me a little bit of autonomy. But all of these adaptations that help us to, let's call it, survive our childhood. Because in the moment where these developmental needs are not met, and we are like, damn, this is not met, we protest, and the protest is shut down, we feel pain. This feels like dying for kids. That is developmental trauma. The vector of development was very clear. The system that you were growing up in was like, wow, okay, that doesn't work, let's find another way. So that's what kids do. They're growing with a lot of resilience, the roots of a plant through concrete. Everybody will figure out how to grow through this, but will have to distort themselves. They will have to shut down traits, characteristics of themselves. They will have to shut down emotions, preferences, and talents to get through. The sad thing about this is when a kid figures out, this new way to grow my roots, I get a little bit of what I want, or I survived this, but I didn't get my need met, but I got something. The kid has a measurement system. They Observe and say, I found a way. Pretend I am sulking, go to my room, treat my mom, shit a little bit, make her feel guilty, and then she gives me what I want. Fast forward into adulthood. The kid saved that pattern. Now the kid is an adult. The adult has exactly the same pattern, plus a more or less functioning neocortex, so a logical brain. So there is a pattern connected to pain and emotional brain stuff, and then there is the neocortex, so the logical brain, that will find good reasons why this pattern is a good pattern. So whenever your partner, for example, says something you don't like, you go to your room, sulk, make them feel guilty, and hope they react like your mom. But if your partner is grown up, they will look at what you're doing and say, I don't want to be your mom. And here you have a fight. This is how your childhood adaptive patterns create reality today.